Welcome to the Hush Sprinter. Now the Hush Sprinter is your little powerhouse. It is a turbine motor and it is designed to rip through those tans for you. It's super powerful. So therefore it is a little bit noisier, but it's designed with some really nice features. It's great for salons that are busy, so greater than 20 tans a day, your sprinter is your go-to. You do need to turn off the sprinter in between each spray tan because it does have a built-in thermostat, so it can reach its temperature and then just shut off and not work until it drops down again. So I suggest that once you've done your tan, turn it off and dry, done your tan and dry, turn it off, just give it a few minutes in between each tan, which we do normally anyway. The great feature about this unit is we can run two guns off it at once. So if you want to have your unit in the middle of two rooms and to be using them, you can do those sorts of things. So again, great for spraying, pageant contestants. We can be spraying one Miss World Girl and drying off, in the next 10, have this in the middle. We can be doing two bodybuilders at once. It's great to be able to get through those tans really fast. And so it's called the Sprinter for that reason. The nice little features of this is, as I said, it's a turbine motor, so super powerful. This is one of the only units that I'm actually going to say we need to spray on low if you're spraying by yourself or individually, and we turn it up to high when you put the Y connector on the front, and then you can run two hoses or two guns. So let's go through how you set it up and use it. So this is your motor. It comes with the Hush Optimizer gun, and I'll go through that in a separate video, but beautiful gun. Nice solid casing. The connection point's already attached for you. Obviously we've got our power cord that we're going to pop in the side here. We'll just line those up, so nice and easy for you. So once you've got your cord plugged in, you can actually turn the power on. Just to double check it. You can see it's pretty powerful, it's blowing my gun away. One little thing just to check, this is your little amp here, so when it does overheat, that'll pop out. So if this little button pops out and you can see some white here, it just means that you've triggered off the thermostat. So if you just pop that back in, and sometimes it can get knocked in shipping so it can pop out. So just make sure that's pushed in, plug in your power, just test that it comes on, and we're good to continue. Okay, so now our hose, again a nice strong metal flex hose, so you can stand on it. This one's a new one, so it's going to be a little tight, but it'll flex around and loosen up as we use it, and it's a nice long hose. We've got a nice quick connect on the end of these, so like a garden hose, you pull back the connection, and what we do is we pop it on and release, and it locks in. So to pull it out again, you need to pull it back and pull it out. So a really lovely feature. So there's no plastic there, it's brass, so it's never going to break off on you. So that's a really lovely feature. And the same with the other end of the gun. The quick connect comes back and pushes in and then locks in. So that's never going to pop off on you, so it's lovely. It's a really lovely feature. So back to the motor. So simply, to turn it on and use it, we're going to turn it on the button and we're going to spray on low for individual. We're going to turn up to high. So up to high for two people, and we're going to spray on low. And this is the only piece of equipment that I'm ever going to suggest to spray on low because it's so powerful. And as you can hear, it is a bit noisier, but it's designed to perform. So you can get through your tans really quickly. And in fact, this little unit, I can get through my tans in under 3 minutes a tan. So it's pretty amazing with the Optimizer gun on the high spray pattern. Now, in order to clean and look after your gun, now this is your bread and butter. So we're going to make sure we look after it with tender, loving care because this earns our dollars. End of every night, we're going to wipe over the unit with a damp cloth, and we're going to wipe over our hose with a damp cloth. Because remember, spray tan is sticky. It's made from sugar cane or beets, and it is quite sticky. So if you don't look after your machine, it will get all gunked up. with solution and you've wasted your money. So I really can't stress enough, you're spending a lot of money for a fantastic piece of equipment. You need to make sure you clean it. So how do we do that? So at the end of every week, so we wipe over it every day after we've used it, and at the end of every week we've got 2 filters that are so simple to do. So this filter comes off here, filter comes out of here. As you can see, we've got a nice big chunky filter and a nice fine one. They get washed, you just dishwashing detergent, hot soapy water, rinse them through really well and let them dry. Now make sure they are 100% dry before you put them back on. And I always suggest having a spare set, so I leave one set dry in the dishwashing rack, and I have another set I can put straight in if I have to use it again. So, but 100% dry, and every week, not negotiable. The amount of times I get phone calls going, hey, this is not working, and I said, look, have you washed your filter? And they've had their unit for a year and a half, and they go, what filter? It's like every week. So these get washed, and then they get popped back in once they're dry. Your spray tan equipment should last, 2 to 5 years as your minimum. These units I'm looking at 5 years plus, but you've got to do the work to look after them. So they go back on. As you saw, there's another really fine filter here, and down the track, once you've had that for a little while, so a couple of years will replace that. But at this point in time, you need to be doing massive volumes, and we can get those in spare parts. But do that minimum sort of weekly maintenance, and you will have your unit for a long time. Now, these units come with the beautiful optimizer gun, which has got, all sorts of lovely features, and I'll go through that in a separate video. But the biggest thing I find that happens is that people put this little blue connection the wrong way. So if you connect it all up and turn it on and air's coming out but not solution when you pull the trigger, you've got this little blue filter the wrong way. So the little trick is to have the black bit on the bottom and the blue bit on the top. That works beautifully. And then I'll go through in the video how to use your gun. Now, my other piece of advice is these are beautiful units and they are your bread and butter, but if something happens and these go down, I've been in salons where water's gone over units and then you can't use them, or someone's dropped them, or someone, one of your mobile technicians has taken it and then you're left with nothing in your salon. Always buy a little cheaper unit to have as your backup. You just don't know when something's going to happen. I have seen units, left on the top of cars when people get out and going mobile and they've driven off and they've broken them, and thank God they had a spare one. So always have a spare unit. And when you do get your new units, have a little play with them the day before you use them on a client. The other thing I get is, oh, I've just got my new thing and I'm here with it, in front of a client. I don't know how to turn it on. I don't know how to. It's great if we're on the phone and we're available, but if it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night and you're doing your first tan and setting up your unit, it can be really stressful for you. So just get your unit a couple of days before, have a play around it, do a little test spray so that you're comfortable and you're happy, because it's all about making sure that you're 100% happy, because these are beautiful machines.